What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my bank organization video. In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you all how I organize my bank and why I do it. I've gotten a lot of requests to do a video like this from people seeing my stream and looking at the organization of my bank. So I decided to go ahead and make a video about it. Now, first thing I want to say about bank organization is there are many ways you can do it, and depending on the person, something might be more comfortable for one person as compared to me. So this is more or less just a walkthrough of how I do it and the reason why I do it. Now, the first thing that I want to go over is a RuneLite feature. So if you are using the third-party client RuneLite, you'll be able to do this too. What you're going to want to do is click on the wrench at the top right of RuneLite and open up the settings. And if you type in bank, you'll bring up a bank tags plugin here. And if you click the cog, you'll be able to select the options, use bank tags, and remember last tag tab. So if you have this turned on, you can then see over here to the left of my bank, I have a bunch of tabs here. And what I can do is I can right click and edit tags on any item that I want, and I can add a tag to it based on what I named the tag. Now this is very helpful for different things. For example, my tabs are for raids, which is the Chambers of Xeric, Theater of Blood, Zulrah, the Calphite Queen, the Inferno, and this is just a melee slayer tab that I use very frequently. Now another thing that you can do here to make them easily recognizable is right click on one of the tabs and change the icon. And then you can search any item in the game. Say for Chambers of Xeric, if I wanted to change it to a twisted bow, I can just type that in and select it, and it changes the icon in the tab. But I like it to be the omelet because it's more recognizable for me. So you can pick any item that you want just to make it so you can quickly identify which one is which. Now let's get into the actual bank organization video. Now for me, what is easiest is this main tab here. In my main tab, this is everything that I use very frequently. I do a lot of PVMing, I do a lot of bossing, so everything that I have related to PVM and bossing is in my main tab. And this includes my cash stack for buying stuff, arrows, foods, potions, and pretty much anything else. Armor, up here is all my jewelry. I have my max capes over here to the right, more armor down here, boots in one section, and then as we get lower, we get into the different weapons that I use. Now I do need to organize a little bit more, but as for right now, it's doing okay because there are some items that I'm still trying to get, which I will have specific places for once I get the set. For example, I have the Elysian Spirit Shield here, which actually is not mine. I'm borrowing it, but I have the placeholder for it. I do have a Spectral, and I'm saving up for an Arcane. Now, as for the main tab, that's all I have in it. Anything related to PVM and what I use the absolute most. Now moving on to the next tab. In here, I have everything related to teleport spells and a little bit of magic stuff. Over on the left, I have all my runes. Then I have teleport tablets. Even though I do have the max cape and the construction cape, sometimes I still like to just go quick, grab a teleport tab out of the bank, and get to where I'm going. And then over to the right, we have other methods of teleporting. The Royal Seed Pod, the Ectophile, the Memoirs, the Master Scroll Book, and some Elf Crystals. And under that, I have some magic staffs because I think it goes along with runes and teleporting and stuff like that. And then down below, I also have my jewelry that has teleports in this tab as well because it goes along with the runes needed to teleport and for magic as well as the teleport tabs. Now my next tab is going to be all potions. These are the 3, 2, and 1 dose potions that I have not had the chance to decant yet. And it really helps to clean up your bank as compared to over here in the main tab where I have all my 4 doses, and it really helps to just clean it up and you have them all in here. That way, when I do need to decant, I can just come in here and just grab all of them as simply as this, take it to the guy at the Grand Exchange and have them decanted very quickly. So it just helps to keep organized a little bit more if you have a separate tab for these potions. Into my next tab over here is going to be a lot of stuff that I don't really use and more or less that I'm collecting. Some of them do have uses, but I think it all goes along with, I guess, wearable items. So over here, I have everything that I have to do with the diaries. I have my red graceful set in here because red's my favorite color. I always like to keep at least one set in the bank. I have my Slayer helmet collection, which I'm still working on. Prayer books, stoles, blessings, and pretty much anything else that can go along with wearable items. Moving on to the next tab. And this tab here is basically my junk tab. This is where I throw anything like tools and some other things that I collect through Slayer. Like in here, around here, you can see all the heads and anything that I can get stuffed at the taxidermist. And then further down, it gets a little bit more unorganized, but this is the one tab where I decided to just throw a bunch of junk in. Next tab, this is a collection tab that I have for myself. This is what people give me while I'm streaming, or if they just feel like giving me stuff. I collect all of this stuff. I have a stack of 317,000 bread. And then in my very last tab, this is my loot tab. And for all of my videos, I have one dedicated loot tab when I am collecting. So anything that I happen to be collecting at the time, it all stays in one loot tab. Now, generally, I do leave the price holders in here because I don't really want to go back and rebuild this, but it's all organized according to different things. Rare drops at the top, then some resources, gems below that, herbs and seeds. Below that is ranging weapons and equipment. And then we get down into other stuff where obviously you can see where that is going. Now that's all that I have in my bank tab currently, but as for other things, maybe you're training a specific skill. A good one is farming, for example. I would suggest that you make a tab just specifically for farming. There's a lot of items that go along with farming, such as the compost that you're using, different kinds of seeds, tools, and maybe you collect the stuff that you harvest. So having a tab specifically for farming would actually be great. Now, the next thing I want to cover is something, I guess, about bank mechanics and training. So let's say you're training a skill where you have to constantly take things out of the bank and then put them back in. And this can be related to herb lore if you're making potions, fletching. As you can see, I have some stuff in my inventory right now. And also, other skills like crafting, anything of that nature. So I want to show you guys a trick here to make it a lot easier on yourself. Now, for example, what I have in my inventory are maple logs and bowstrings, and I'm going to be fletching. So what I want to do here is make this as easy as possible. And the way that you can do that is by filling your bank up. Now I'm going to come down here to the bottom of the tab, deposit the maple logs and the bowstrings. So now I know that I don't have those anywhere else in my bank because they're right there. I'm going to drag them up to a new tab. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to come into the show menu, and then I'm going to fill my bank up with bank fillers. So now I have all of these in here. So my bank is full, and then I have one more thing. Obviously I'm going to need a knife to cut these logs. So I'm going to come grab a knife, release the placeholder, and fill it with one placeholder. So now I can put my knife back when I'm done. I'm going to come back into this tab here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these maple logs and bowstrings and put them down here so they're very close to the deposit inventory button. So once I've done that, I can then take out, with the all button selected, all of those maple logs, and I'm going to go ahead and fletch these really quick. Alright, so now as my inventory is fletched, I'm going to go back into the bank, and I'll see here that these are close down to the inventory, deposit inventory. I'm going to release this one, and I'm going to deposit all the maple longbows. Now, when I fletch another inventory, I can open the bank, deposit all, and then just click. I have a placeholder for those, so as long as I just deposit all, they are nowhere else in the bank, and my bank is filled up. So when I deposit all, it goes right back into the same spot, and because I have that placeholder here with the knife is going to stay in my inventory even when I click that deposit all button. So back into here, and then once I have finished, and let's say I want to move on to fletching the actual bows with bowstrings, I can just put my knife back in, my bank is still full, and then I can come here to the X button, withdraw X, 14, and then just click that, 14, and then fletch the bows. Go into the bank, make myself a placeholder for the strung maple longbows, click on the unstrungs, the strings, and that's 14 and 14, and I'm back to fletching. And then every time I do that, I can just open the bank, deposit all, click, and I'm back to fletching. Makes it a lot more efficient and a lot more easier to maintain your speed when you're skilling. And like I said before, this can be done with a lot of different things: herb lore, fletching, cooking, crafting. So no matter what you're doing, you can use this to actually speed up your process while you are doing a skill that requires using the bank a lot. And then once you're done with everything, make sure that you always set your placeholders, make sure that it's turned back on, because then you can simply right click and clear all bank fillers. And then it's going to clear all those bank fillers you set earlier, giving you that bank space back. And then since I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and take them all out. If I want to release them, I can. And if you don't want to release them, obviously you leave them there. And I don't need these, so I'm just going to drop them. So that's going to do it for this short tips and tricks on your banking methods video. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you may have learned something that you didn't know, or if you just have a really messy bank, maybe now this will give you an idea of how to organize it and how it might work best for you. Now, like I said earlier in the video, everybody does things different. Everybody is comfortable with something different. So you can organize your bank and make your tabs however you like. Hopefully you just do it in a fashion where you can remember where things are and quickly get to them if you need them. And don't forget about the bank tags plugin with RuneLite. It really makes skilling and bossing so much easier when you can just go right into one tab, take all your stuff out, and continue on your merry way. Now, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up down below. They really do help the video's popularity. If you haven't done so yet, tap that subscribe button on your way out. All of your support means a ton to me, and I really appreciate it. And if you might be interested, you can also join the channel as a channel member. And doing this, you will get access to specific channel member only community posts, as well as special in-game events with me. So guys, thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.